When you got up in the morning and you went to get your newspaper, those of you who still get them, it had a scary title about 70% taxes. They're going to take your money. Then when you got dressed and started going to your job, on the radio, last time I checked, like 23 of 24 talk radio hours were right-leaning. So on the radio, you hear 70% marginal tax rate. They're going to take your money. Then you get to work. They have the same newspapers at work that they had at your house, but they have a stack of them for whoever to take them. And it says again, that scary title, 70% they're going to take your money. Then around the water cooler at your job, people are talking about, hey, did you hear they're trying to take 70% of my money? Then you leave, go home, on the radio again, talk radio, right-leaning, they're going to take 70% of your money. Then you get home, you cut on the television, and what do you hear? They're going to take 70% of my money. Then you go on the internet, what do you see? Washington Post, New York Times, New York Mag. They're going to take 70% of my money. That's called manufacturing consent. They did the same thing for the Iraq War. Again, this is why they didn't tell you. Now, AOC said that the highest tax rate proposal was 70%. Marginal. Do you know how many people approximately that would affect? There are 325 million people approximately in the United States. That 70% marginal tax rate would affect about 16,000. 0.00000 whatever percent. It's infinitesimal. The question is, if it's that small an amount of people, then why is it that it seems like the country is up in arms about it? Again, it's not rocket science. That tax would raise $758 billion over 10 years. You know what $758 billion would do for the economy? It'll help you get universally funded college, universally funded health care. Imagine those two burdens being taken off of the backs of the working class. But who would pay that? Those 16,000 people are the people who own the media apparatuses. The people in that 16,000, they own these media apparatuses. They are the rich among the rich. So guess what they did? They took their media apparatus and they used that in order to manufacture consent that somehow this is a bad thing. But how are they able to do that? Well, it's because Bill Clinton's Telecommunications Act, I believe it was either 1994 or 96, made it to where these companies could buy each other across the lines, television, newspapers, the whole nine. So now 90% of the media is owned by 6 companies. So they all just tell you what they want you to think. And because of that, the taxes that they used to pay, which was 32% of the taxes, 32% of the taxes were paid by corporations, and 9% was paid in Social Security tax by you. Now, it's 10% paid by the corporations and 36% Social Security tax paid by you. They shifted the tax burden from them to you. They shifted it from them to you. This is why they keep screaming, oh, 70%, 70%. Because they can, because they have all the mics. On top of that, what do they do for corporations? They deify them. They make it seem like they're God. Why? Because profit is their God. Profit is these corporations' God. So if you raise the taxes on them, they make less profit. Better for the country, they don't care about the country. They're not American countries. They're multinational countries. So they care about profit. So the profit is their God. And then guess what they do? They make Satan the government. But guess what? You are the government. You pay into the government. The government is you. So they're making you demonize yourself. That's some Jedi mind trick stuff for your behind. They make you hate the government that you run. And they make you put your faith in the corporations that they run, whose entire job is to take as much of your money as they can. It's a genius plan. So that 70% marginal tax rate would be amazing for America, because it would lift up the very people who keep the economy going. And that isn't these big corporations. That's the American working class and small businesses. That's who keeps America going. So if you're going to tax somebody, make sure that you tax the people who've been dodging taxes for the past 40 years. Corporations. And yeah, tax them and the wealthy at a 70% marginal tax rate minimum. If you like this video, be sure to click like and subscribe. And don't forget to join us on our other social media accounts at It's Time to Fight. But most of all, we want you to go now and join the fight on Patreon and get elevated to fight leadership at patreon.com/It's Time to Fight.